Oh, perfect timing. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nix, and I am so excited to be here today. Particularly, I'm excited to have my guests plural, in the persons of John, Mark, and Cassie. I'm going to delve right into the subject matter. Let me tell you how this came about. Several weeks ago, I befriended the persons of Dr. Zanzi and Tony McLaurin through a mutual business transaction. They have assumed the positions of being promoters of the MPC Mississippi Championship Bodybuilding Fitness Competition. They asked me several weeks ago if I would just attend. And added a component. Gordon Ware was the previous promoter for, I think, like over 40 years, or 30 or 40 years. And they assumed the position of being promoters, and they asked me to come. And of course, I do like traveling on the weekend, and particularly comes to some weekends, because I travel throughout the week. I kind of guard that as downtime, as family time. And I said, if I can, I will. They said, we really want you to be there. Well, they're like Amazon people. So when they ask you something, you want to oblige them as best as you can. I did. My wife and my children, they're out of town. I did attend the competition, the bodybuilding fitness competition championship a couple of weeks ago, and had an incredible time. It was one of my check off bucket list blocks that I wanted to attend. Most people, and I'm being very transparent. Most people assume that it's a vanity kind of sport, and I'm sure to a degree it is. But I witnessed artists on the stage. I witnessed probably some of the most disciplined people that breathe air and that walk around. Perfectly sculptured people, exteriorly, certainly so. But in order to have that physique, there has to be an emotional component and discipline involved in that. I attended and had an incredible time. Zanzi and Tony said midway, okay, you can kind of leave now. I'm like, is it over? They said, no, we got the second half. I said, I'm going to stay. And I was so impressed. At the conclusion, had the opportunity, Dr. Zanzi McLaurin and Tony brought up these two wonderful people, John, Mark, and Cassie, to the stage. They awarded, you gave out a couple of awards, yes, and they were.
It was the Best Poser Award for
the Best Poser Award
for male and female.
Yeah. And I was so impressed with their presentation. Talked to Dr. Zanzi and said, I now am inquisitive. I went, they allowed me to go behind stage, talk to some of the athletes. I was more interested in the why. Why do you do what you do? And how did you get to where you are? It's not an overnight kind of the magic wand, and you look like you look. For those of you who are very visual, for those of you who are streaming us live on the various social media platforms, you're able to see these creatures, respectfully. You didn't get there overnight, but it takes a lot of discipline. I wanted to have them on the show, not to talk about, superficial kind of conversation, but what it takes, the kind of discipline, the why. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to Defining Moment, Mark and Cassie. Welcome to Defining Moment.
Hey, thank you for allowing us to be here.
Absolutely. I know that we have many viewers and listeners, particularly those, we have a lot of delivery drivers that listen to us on their vehicles, whether Federal Express or UPS or whomever, Amazon. Thank you for listening. And then we have those that stream all around the country, from Michigan to Philadelphia to New Orleans to Memphis to Texas to Georgia. Even have a couple of people in the UK that tune in. And thank you very much. My desire is that you are better off after joining us every Thursday morning. John Mark, yes, when I see you, man, if I ever get in trouble in an alley at night, I want you on my side, man.
Don't call me.
So when people look at you, know, when people look at Cassie,
Yes, sir.
they say, okay, man, it's just vain.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's more to it than
Most
you
definitely.
being concerned about how on the outside.
Yes, sir.
I says the well and fitness industry,
Mhm.
the supplement industry
Yes.
is a $1 billion industry.
Big time. Big
The
time.
swimsuit is a $1 billion industry. So is the pharmaceutical.
Yes, sir.
Is a $1 billion industry.
Big time.
I have learned, and I said this the other day because Tony McLaurin and Zanzi,
Mhm.
they're like my trainers.
Yes.
They're easing me into it, and I have reduced my weight by 13
That's
pounds
great, man. That's awesome.
in 2 months. Drink a whole lot of water,
Yes, sir. The water
get my
helps too.
sleep. I'm exercising. I am learning that God intended the body to heal itself,
Most definitely, as always. Always.
and the more supplements we take,
Mhm.
the more we put into the more preserves we put in our body, we clog our bodies,
Yes, sir.
and the body doesn't have the ability then to heal itself and to be the structure that God intended.
Very true.
How did you end up being who you are and having massive body structure you do?
Yeah.
Were you a nerd at first?
Well, actually,
Somebody picked on all the time?
well, more so,
As
no.
Cassie laughed.
Well, when I was about 10 and 11, I had a speech impediment, and so I didn't talk much. And my church, the men of my church, Salvation Hill down in Fannin, Mississippi, we decided to start weight training. And so we joined the courthouse, and I was the last person that kept up the part of the deal that we wanted to achieve. The weight training aspect of things basically empowers you to allow you to control what you get out of it. What you put in is what you get out of it. And by working out, it allows you to force the body to build muscle in compensation for what you put it through. So the body adapts. It's the system of preservation. That's the way that God designed things to do survive. But we know in time, all things fail. So when you're weight training, you are damaging red blood cells and microfibrillary tearing muscle. What you
Repeat that again.
So when you're weight training, you're actually damaging red blood cells and you're microfibrillary tearing muscle.
Wait a minute now. This was intended for you to give positive instructions.
Oh,
You're
no.
telling me
Oh, no.
I'm being counterproductive by working out. Okay, Tony and Zanzi, that's it. Sorry.
Well, hold on. It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Well,
right.
the concept is, so your red blood cells hold oxygen. So
Right.
when you weight train, you put them in a compromising position so that they don't hold the same oxygen that they normally do. So the body has to repair them and force them to adapt by putting more oxygen into the red blood cells, which gives you energy.
Oh.
So it's that science aspect of things that a lot of people don't really get that kind of information from trainers. When you think about working out to accentuate features and building muscle and the aspect of recovery. So your food that you put back in helps the body to pack in those microfiber tears that you are stretching the fascia of the muscle to allow it to build.
Put a comma right there.
Yes,
I
sir.
know you're right. Let me tell you something. Because last week I had a cheat day.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was working out feverishly.
Yes,
I don't know how you instruct your students. But I had a cheat day. Man, I was doing great, and I said my weakness has always been cheese and potato chips. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not much on candies and stuff like
Yeah.
just potato chips
Yeah.
and cheese. So last week I had a bag of potato chips.
Mhm.
After I ate the potato chips, I felt bad.
You don't feel sluggish.
I said there was nothing, absolutely nothing of nutritional value
No, sir.
in the bag of potato
No,
chips.
sir.
And it's like my body was saying, what did you just put inside of me?
Yeah.
I gained absolutely nothing from what
Yes,
you
sir.
put inside of me.
Yeah.
There ought to be a burst of energy, a sense of sustainability when you eat food, right?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Clean food.
Clean food.
Yes,
How do
sir.
you define clean food?
Well, it just deals with how it's processed or how it's cooked more so. By having it baked, by having it grilled, you have the air fryer now. You have many different ways to cook food. And it doesn't have to be bad either. You can season your food however you want to. Just don't drown it in seasonings. Because also, you're consuming a gallon of water now. So you're flushing the body out of all the sodium that it does not need.
Amazing.
And,
Amazing.
and the body needs sodium to force the muscles to retain hydration.
Repeat that again. Now, this is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to squeeze in as much as I can, but you got to know, you know me well enough by now to know that when I'm starting a question like I am, that I need to have the guests back. So let me go ahead and put them on the spot right now. John Mark and Cassie, will you come back?
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. She hadn't even talked yet, and I'm going to ask them to come back so you know it, because this is a lot of information. Information is powerful.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm sure that you have students that started training wrong. You can get bad habits.
True.
And when you have bad habits and you continue bad habits, you do more detriment to your body than anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I'm with my delightful guests, these mystical kinds of people that God created. He loved them very much. John Mark and Cassie on Defining Moments. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. I'm not going to meander too much. I'm going to get right into it. Let me say this before I go to Cassie. Interestingly enough, God has a sense of humor. You alluded to the fact early on that you had a speech impediment.
Yes, sir.
You stuttered.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. When I was 7, 8, 9 years old, I stuttered so bad.
Yeah, same here. Mm-hmm.
I would have to hit stuff.
Yes, sir.
I would have to kick things,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get speech out.
Yes, sir.
And God just cured me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting that now people who knew me then know me now and say, hey, and he would put you in broadcasting.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That he would put you in a profession that you would talk all the time and that you would make your living all of the time. So what you're alluding to earlier in the segment, you said that there's an improper way to train.
Yes, sir.
And that you can eat certain foods, but number one, in moderation.
Yes, sir.
And number two is how you prepare it.
How you prepare it, most definitely. So the concept is that the way that we do our plan is we always allow people to stick to the plan for about 2 to 3 weeks, because that forces everything to become a structured habit forming.
Now, when you say stick to the plan, a plan that you devised,
yes, sir,
or a plan that they came in with?
The actual, most of our people come to us for an assessment, and we sit down and we talk to them. The reason why we actually do an assessment is to basically gauge the mentality of the individual that we're working with, so that we can find out where they are, where their mindset is before we even start this, and what we need to do to get them the best results feasible.
Cassie, welcome to Defining Moments.
Well, thank you.
Zanji said, if you're intent to lose weight and to have sustainability through a diet, it lasts long. All right. She said, recite the first 3 letters of the word diet. I said DIE. She said, stop right there.
Exactly.
She said, because you're going to die trying.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
To keep up with the diet.
Mm-hmm.
Diets don't necessarily work if you're not mentally conditioned.
Most definitely, yes, sir.
Well, diet is a word that I don't really like to use.
Really?
It's not a diet. This is not a short-term thing. It's a long-term goal. So we're wanting a lifestyle change. We want to bring you in and teach you how to eat, to reach your goals and to maintain your goals, for your body to function like it was designed to function. Not just a temporary thing where you lose weight and you look better and you feel better for a little while. We want it to last. We want longevity in this.
So do you even get students, if pupils or clients come in, hold that thought. Welcome back to Defining Moments. I'm with my guests, John Mark and Cassie. They're owners of Cut and Dry Gym
Yes, sir.
Fitness Center. How long have you guys had that open?
Sir. Actually, it's been open for almost 2 years, but it's a gym. It's not a fitness center.
So what's the and thank you for that clarity.
Yes, sir.
So what's the difference?
The difference is a gym, it's a more close-knit place for people to train, where we want everybody to feel like they are trying to reach their goals. More so, fitness centers have changed the concepts of things more so. It's a place to just work out, and they coach you on 30-minute training sessions. I actually like a little bit longer tenure when I train people. But we are there to actually guide our members, if they have any questions, they can ask. The old school gym setting where you felt like you were family, where you walk in and you
Ah,
say hi. We have members that we have cultured them to the point that we say hi and bye, that they will walk out the door and stand there to be recognized and tell us bye before they actually walk out, because we created a whole
is
different
that is
culture.
that community?
Yes, sir.
It is that sense
It
of
is that
community.
community. It's not just a business. It is actually a place that we have placed in a whole facet of equipment. And actually, our personal training is what we are financed from. So the gym actually sustains itself. So we don't take a dime out of our business so that we can bring in the best equipment.
It's self-sustainable.
Self-sustainable.
Cassie, you were talking earlier about that you really don't even like the usage of the word diet,
Mhm.
because it's short term. It has a different kind of mentality. It's a quick fix. And so, how do you even counsel someone who says, "Cassie, I want to look like you, and I want to look like you in 3 months. Can you help me?"
I don't ever like to set a goal like that. One, because all of our bodies are different. I want them to look like the best version of themselves and to feel
And
like
not
the
you,
best- not me. That's right.
True.
And I don't like to look at
and not John Mark.
Yes, sir.
So I need to
Comparison is a killer.
so I need to quit looking at John Mark like, okay, that's going to be me.
You can be.
I can be.
Yes, sir. It all depends on your drive and how you go about weight training.
Really,
Definitely. Yes, sir.
man, you got some pretty strong guns. Man.
They're not that strong. It's just show.
Sure it is. Sure it is. Cassie,
But you
continue.
may find further down the line that you have better qualities than he has putting this weight on. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm training somebody that they've got more developed lats than I do, or everybody's got weaknesses, and everybody's got strengths, and we're able to pick up on those and
My director's
really,
giving me directions.
and really accent those features. So that's what we do with the weight training is we take the body apart and grow it individually.
Yes,
so
sir.
if we need to grow your shoulders more, or if we need to grow glutes more, or quads more, that's part of what bodybuilding is. So we're a bodybuilding foundation gym, but we're
Most
for
definitely.
everybody.
So now let me ask you a psychological, philosophical kind of question.
Mhm.
Is there a body in me that was designed to be, and because I am not working it's not reaching its potential? But when I come to people like you, you
Mhm.
actually help me manifest the body that's actually inside of me,
Yes,
the
sir.
wholeness of the body.
Yes, sir.
So in other words, you look like you because
sir.
you were meant to look like you.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're the best version of the intent that God had for you.
Most definitely.
Well, and still growing and still
And still
changing.
growing.
We're still evolving.
Yeah.
There are things that both
Never
of us are
satisfied.
still improving on,
Yes, sir. Never satisfied.
mentally and physically.
Even in our business,
Mhm.
even in everything.
But you know what? Since Zanzi and Tony, since they've been giving me instructions,
Yes, sir.
I sleep better.
Isn't that
Mhm.
great?
I
Yes, sir.
sleep better. I feel better.
Mhm.
And I got to tell you what. All right, just a little ego here.
Mhm.
When I put on my clothes,
They
they
get
feel better.
Exactly.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, I've gone down from an extra large
Mhm.
to a fitted large.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Can you believe that, Cassie?
That's great.
Very.
And I
feasible.
feel better.
Because the food is not being so much as to where it's making you sluggish. So the
Some
body is-
people,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Mhm.
they're scientists and researchers
Mhm.
of food, how to make food taste better,
Mhm.
how to grow it faster,
Yes, sir.
not organically.
Mhm.
And I said something a couple of months ago. I said it's an oxymoron. Why is it more expensive to eat healthy?
I don't know.
I don't expect you to answer that question.
Well,
Why is it more expensive to eat healthy?
that's a good question. It could be a lot of conspiracy behind it with government and everything. I don't know. We want to delve into that, but
I
it
don't.
seems like it's more so dealing with the aspect of what's easier to produce.
Yeah.
Cheetos are easier to produce than actually going out and producing more chicken and stuff like that.
And you're saying, and both either one of you, you're saying, do you reward yourself? Do you reward
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
Cassie?
Yeah.
I have a
Do-
cheat meal once a week.
We'll have a cheat meal once a week.
And so, what is that cheat meal? Called carrot, a carrot or something?
No,
I'm
well,
just
it
kidding.
depends. Like my diet is restricted to just lean meats right now. So my body,
I.e.,
like chicken, shrimp, whitefish,
Mhm.
ground turkey.
No
do you count
calories.
calories?
No, well,
Yeah.
there are calories that are. It's a macro plan that's based out there. But
Mhm.
the way our plans are, and the way that my plan's laid out for me is that I'm told exactly what I can eat and the portions that I eat it in. But it needs to be structured. So I'm kind of big on. I don't want to just say, okay, you need to fill 2,100 calories a day, and you can put them wherever you want to put them.
True.
There's a structure to it. You need to have your carbs and your fats and those proteins in certain places throughout the day for them to be effective. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to fast for the first 6 hours and then I'm going to take in 2,100 calories in this 5-hour window right before I go to sleep.
Or are you a promoter of meal prepping?
Yeah, most
Absolutely.
definitely.
Plan your meal.
Prepare. If you're
Mhm.
not prepared, you are destined to fail. In all things, preparation.
That's
even in
good.
battle.
If you don't
All of the great-
prepare,
Destined
you're
to fail.
destined to fail.
Yes, sir. Because once you get your body used to taking in food, so the portions are smaller to allow the body to have what it needs at that appointed time. When you take in three meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you may be going 6 hours without food. So the body's saying, Mr. Larry didn't feed me from 8 to 2. So I'm going to store this food because just in case if he needs it, I'm going to have it just in case. But it never lets it go because it needs more portions. So the body holds on because a pound of fat is 3,600 calories. A pound of muscle is 600 calories.
Wow.
So the body, being a system of preservation, will store the fat and let go of the protein and muscle because it can utilize the fat more.
So the body is really trying to help you, but you need to help it help you.
Yes, sir.
It
Very
needs
true.
the consistency.
Needs the consistency.
So all right. So now let's just deal with the elephant in the room. Let's deal with the superficial aspect. When people look at bodybuilders and fitness champions like yourselves, I mean, they look at the exterior and
Yes,
say they're only in it for the vanity purpose,
Okay.
you know. And I'm sure some of them are.
Mhm.
All right.
Some of them can be. Yeah.
I appreciate you saying it just like that.
Oh, most definitely.
Some of them can be.
Yes, sir.
But when you get to the discipline level that you are, you're doing it for, Zanzi said it this way. Zanzi said, it's an art
Yes.
and you're proud of your work.
Mhm.
And when you're competing, you're displaying your artwork.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How true is that?
Well, because when you're on stage, you are speaking to an audience without ever saying a word. So your movements.
What are
tell
you
a
saying?
story.
What are you saying?
It depends on the person and what they want to show at that time. So your movements are speaking something. The music that you're posing to is telling a story. And that is the art of bodybuilding. That's the way that it should be. And that's why we gave the posing award to the person that actually catered to that old school
Presentation,
aspect of things. He reflected that posing that forced him to slow the motions down and really put emphasis on his flexion. Certain things needed to be flexed, certain things needed to be relaxed. And the bikini posing, the form, the fluidity of the movements to where it looks like it's comfortable and not constricting. You've seen people flex on stage and they're sitting there straining. When you're an artist, you don't have to strain like that.
And I saw a couple of that. I mean, I thought a couple of people were going to burst a vein.
Exactly.
I'm like, whoa.
Yes, it's not needed. No,
It's not needed.
No. As you keep on posing, you learn how to flex certain things and what certain things need to be tensed. Back in the old days, we used to hold poses for 1 and 2 minutes.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yeah, our coach.
That's strenuous.
Yeah, our coach would walk away and go use the bathroom and come back, and you better be holding that pose. Yes, sir. Or you would pose out in the sun because it allows you to.
All right. So let me ask you a couple of questions that were asked of me to ask. Number one, why such skimpy clothing on stage?
Because it's got to reveal the muscle. I mean,
Yes,
so
sir.
even for women, I mean,
That's an obvious
it
answer,
is-
but
it is not comfortable for me to get out there and when you're looking at it from a sexual innuendo like that. You know, we look at it as the body is we're looking at muscles, and
Yes,
some of those muscles you can't see without the skimpy clothing.
Yes,
For
sir.
men to be in the
Yeah.
trunks like that, or for women to be in the smaller bikinis, you can't see the glutes like you need to. You can't see the hamstring glute tie-in or the separation from glute to quad.
Every division has a requirement.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is fascinating to me. Well, health and fitness on Defining Moments. So you're saying you're in the bikini or you're in the trunks, not because you're trying to entice people.
No, sir.
That's further away from your mind. You're there because that's the only way you can display in front of the judges
To win.
to win. And you're there to win. You're not there to entice anybody.
No, sir. So you in bodybuilding, you have seven compulsory poses, and you're judged based on those movements in comparison to the state you had at time. So you have a frontal bicep, a front lat spread, a side chest, a side tricep. Just because you're hitting a side chest, they're also looking at the sculpt of the leg, the taper waistline.
And guess, let me tell you what I did after the show.
Uh-huh.
I went home and undressed down to my box
Yes.
and did some of the poses that I saw. I need some work. I need, hey, but you know what? But I was a good actor though, boy. I did.
Well, we offer training sessions.
Yeah. I looked in the mirror. I'm like, oh boy, I'm glad I'm the only one in the house right now. I need some help. Hey, but I had the poses down. Just what I saw in the mirror. I'm like, it needs a little help. But I was proud because it was 13 pounds lighter,
Exactly.
and I could see some indentions.
Good.
I can see some indentions
That's only
there.
the beginning.
That's right. That's right. You're a motivator. I can tell. It's that. Exactly right.
And you're never.
But you're a punisher too. I can tell as well.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
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 Needed.
Yeah. If needed. Because at the end of the day, you're there to help.
Exactly.
You're there to help them achieve goal. That's why you do the initial assessment.
Yes, sir. And it deals with the mindset of the individual. You know, people talk, but the actions are what it tells things. You
10
know.
seconds.
So when you have a person that is driven, you don't have to say, all right, let's keep on going. They are ready for the next exercise, because when the mind is ready, the body takes action.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Boy, this is fascinating. Thank you again for joining us on Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nix, and I'm joined by my fascinating guests, John Mark and Cassie, owners of Dry Cut Cut and Dry
Yes, sir.
Gym.
Yes, sir.
You're not a fitness center.
No, sir. We are
You're
a gym.
you're a gym,
Yes, sir. We're a
and
gym.
you're saying that there's a difference. You're not there with pretty fingernails and toenail polish and manicures and
No, sir.
pedicures. You're there to your clients are there to put the work in.
If you come in that way, it'll come off. Most definitely.
If you come in which way?
With makeup and trying to look good, it'll come off eventually. Because our places, we have AC, but it gets hot like during
You're saying AC is an option.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we always have a sweat, and our people love it because of the energy that you see, and
it helps to I guess to get out the toxins.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Sweating. Yes, sir. It forces the body to purge itself of impurities, and it also allows the body to get more thermogenically induced to burn more fat off of the
to heat itself up.
Yes, sir.
All right, because
Yes,
that was a
sir.
scientific terminology you gave me, and I had to break it down.
Yes, sir.
To heat itself and to burn away the
Yes,
toxicity that's
so
in your body.
your sweat is what cools you from the heating up more so. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Listen, now we dove into like the swimsuit, the superficial stuff. All people gawk because of that. You're like, it's not about that.
No.
Now, if you come for that reason, I can't help what you're thinking, but I'm on that stage for the competitiveness.
Well, and I assure you, anybody that's in the sport, nobody's thinking of it that way. The
Oh, most
competitors that
definitely.
are backstage, we're not worried about the guys on the other side or the females over
nobody.
here.
Yeah.
It is just about getting up there and displaying. your
Do
hard
you find, John Mark, for you and Cassie, for you, that athletes who enter this arena, it's because it's either a stress reliever,
Mhm.
it helps with their level of anxiety. They were motivated because of their ill or adverse health.
Yes.
All right, and so working out had to become a priority
Most
for
definitely.
them to, number one, Cassie, this is to you, number one, because if they didn't work out, they were going to shoot up some stuff.
Yes, sir.
If they didn't work out, they were going to snort up some stuff.
Yes, sir.
If they didn't work out, they were going to go to the pier and jump off,
Mhm.
or they were
Yes,
going to
sir.
hurt somebody.
Sure.
So this becomes working out and even this sport becomes a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
How true is that?
Very true.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Speak to that.
I think it's very true. I think the people that stick with it, the people that you see that are lifers in this sport and just weightlifting in general, those are people that were usually broken when they stepped through those doors,
Most definitely.
myself included.
Mhm.
You know, when you take that step to better yourself, or it's I'm gonna go this way and I'm gonna do this, or my lifetime, like maybe not to that extreme, but it's survival, and you find that this is something that you have control over, complete control over this, and making yourself feel good in this aspect, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually. Like that's key, and it has been survival for me.
So as life is full of ebbs and flows, the pendulum swing, you said that when you walked in the door, you were broken. That may have been one extreme. Are you on the other extreme that you just throttle all the way up with the sport?
Absolutely.
You're like, I'm all in.
Oh yeah. There's
And
no
now
limit.
as a result, you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually better.
Yes.
And it keeps you level.
Yeah. Well, it's just the concept also of you'd be amazed how many lives we touch. When we sat down with those consultations, we may have a client who was abused when they were younger, something that was taken away from them that they didn't have control of. And now you have something that is empowering them and strengthening them and allowing them to see a better individual from what they ever thought they would ever be because of those things. You never know what people's walks are when they walk into that gym. And for us, the competition aspect of things is fun, but I get no better gratification than allowing somebody to empower themselves to be better than what they were on yesterday. And that's the overall goal of what we do.
So I feel that compelling moment now, that defining moment now, John Mark. There people watch this program, they follow us, they support us because they know they're going to be encouraged.
Yeah.
They know that I pray about guests. I don't any meeny miny more, and whomever show up, then that's who shows up. That there's something going on in the atmosphere, and it needs to be dealt with and not ignored. People are broken. People are angry. The anxiety level in our country, in our society, is high. People are very impatient with one another. They're divided. There's just a lot of anger out there, and people need to find a mechanism.
Yes,
Is this such a mechanism that people can temper down? And you have found a way that they can temper down, rid themselves of that anxiety, but also become healthier in the process.
most definitely. Because it's a program, it's something that is not just a weight training program, but it can be a lifestyle program as well. To be able to control what you do daily, your finances, your how you carry yourself, what comes out of your mouth. Weight training allows you, especially as us being a representation of that, all of the men that have come and just want to be a part of this. Um,
All right, so listen, stop right there. Somebody's looking at you right now,
Mm.
and they're broken.
Yeah.
They're broken. And you need to look right now and encourage them.
but it's just, we all have days that are rough. We all have days that are hard. But you just have to keep pushing forward.
Look
You
at
have
him.
to allow
Talk to him.
yourself to accept that every day is not going to be the same. You just have to keep on pushing. Wake up in the morning and take a look, because you're blessed. Somebody walks out that door every day and never comes home. Never comes home. So take a look at what you can do with the life and the time that you have every day, and make sure that you try to do it to the best of your abilities. If you see somebody, just say hi. If you have a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, give them a hug. If you have something that you have on your heart that you may need to reconcile with a family member, just do it. What is that going to hurt you?
But
And
Tony, I mean, John Mark, I'm
Yes,
so
sir.
broke. Maybe this person is named Tony.
Mhm.
I feel broken.
Mhm.
I feel like giving up.
Mhm. Okay.
And I really wasn't supposed to watch this program today, but I'm watching it.
Yeah.
So I need you to help me.
Yeah.
Maybe this person is Tony.
Yeah.
What'd you tell him?
Reach out to somebody. It's always good, especially to have somebody to talk to, pastor, a dear friend. Sometimes you just have to open up your heart and allow whatever that is burdening you to just come out.
Can I talk to you?
Yes,
Can I talk to you? I'm speaking for
most
I'm
definitely.
speaking for Tony
Reach out
right
to
now.
me. Reach out to me.
How can they become one a client?
Yeah.
Or just some people just need a friend.
Yeah. Check out my Facebook page. You can reach me, JONMARC Franklin.
Slow down.
Yes, sir. JONMARC Franklin.
Still talking too fast. Because I
Jon.
feel she's still talking too
Yes,
fast.
sir.
Because there are folk out there that are reaching right now, trying
Yes,
to write it down.
Mhm.
How can they get in contact with you?
You can reach out on Facebook. You can call
What's the number?
601-397-8246. A text message, a call. I always answer my phone.
Cassie, are you willing to receive someone and just some people just people don't reach out because they don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
I mean, they've lived some horrific,
True.
they've done some terrible things,
True.
and they're tired of being judged, and they want to know if there's just are there any genuine people out there? Because when people look at you, John Mark, I mean, man, you're a sculpture. When people look at you, Cassie, you're a sculpture. But what you're saying, I just didn't get here overnight.
Yes, sir.
And what you alluded to a moment ago, I'm still in the process.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm a work in progress,
True.
even now.
True.
But I would like to say that, you had mentioned to become a client. We don't just love on our clients. Like, it's everybody that walks through those doors. We
Most
have
definitely.
people that maybe the times don't line up, or financially it just doesn't work out to take on the personal training aspect of things. We pour into each one of our members the same way. So if there's hesitation with that because you're worried about taking that step, it's not signing up with us. It's
No.
stepping through our doors.
Stepping
That's
through
it.
the
We're
doors.
there 4:00 in the morning to 7:00 at night. We are on the gym floor, 11 on every
Yes,
single
sir.
person that walks through there. And
Yes,
it's
sir.
not just us, it's our members. The camaraderie that we have inside those walls is like nothing I've ever seen before. It's members encouraging members. I had a client that was very dear to my heart. Same thing. We're nervous about walking through the door, just intimidation factor of a journey that she had been on. And as a childhood, from childhood, just obesity with that, and how to take that on and how to navigate that change, but worried about the judgment of stepping through the doors. And we would have members that would call and reach out to her if she didn't show up one day,
Most
or where's
definitely.
she been. Like, it's
Our members don't play.
mm-mm.
You
And
just
so
call.
that's an interesting point, because some people who are struggling with obesity, all right, they feel they don't have a confidence in their body the way they look, so they wear big clothing, they hoodies, and just they mask it because they don't want to be judged. And what I hear you saying is that we don't care how you look, just
No,
walk
sir.
through the door,
Everybody's
and,
gonna
and
reach
we'll love them. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassie and John Mark, Cut and Dry Gym.
out.
That's the number to call. That's the place to go. More defining moments. Again, if they'd like to become so do you have memberships, or they just
Yes,
walk
sir.
in?
Yes, sir.
All right.
They can come to our door. We are a private gym. What we wanted to model ourselves
Now,
on.
by the way, I'm gonna tell you something. You're one of the few, and probably a handful, that I've even promoted somebody's product on this program, because I don't talk about people's product in this program. I talk about the God inside of them.
Yes, sir.
But it's something interesting about what I feel. I feel compelled to do this. All right. So I just want to let you know,
Well, it's not about, we're not here for promotion of the
I didn't
product.
ask
We're
you
here
to
for-
come for that,
Right.
but so what I'm doing because I'm led to do it.
Oh, I appreciate
All
it.
right.
We want people to have a place, though, and
Yes,
that's why I brought it up. I want people to know that there's a place out here that's going to love on you, like, for who you are as you walk through those doors, and we're here to make you feel
And
better.
people love that.
Yeah.
We started this gym.
But you don't know my story.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some pretty bad things.
I don't care.
We all have.
Thank you.
We all
Yeah.
have. So the Bible says that he who without sin may cast the
Watch
first
out there
stone.
now. Watch out, son.
Yeah, you'll know it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And-
Jesus, they all brought this woman who had committed adultery.
Yes,
I
sir.
asked the question, why didn't they bring the man too?
Exactly.
And
true.
then Jesus says, he without sin cast first stone, looked around, and everybody dropped their rock
Exactly. 'cause
And
they
there was
couldn't
nobody
judge
there.
anybody.
because they couldn't judge.
Yes, sir.
So what you don't do, you don't look at the past, you look at the potential of the person.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Come on,
sir.
Cassie.
Exactly.
Come
the
on,
only thing
gentlemen.
that we ask is that you're there to make yourself better.
Make
That's
yourself better. Exactly.
And you don't compare them to, you want to look like me, or you want to look like John, or you want to look like Emily. You're saying, I want you to be the best of who
Most definitely.
you are. do you create a plan and you just help them get there?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Go ahead, man.
Well, that's what we sit down in the assessments for. Kind of see what their lifestyle is. Where's your journey been so far?
Lifestyle includes not only physicality, but emotionally, mentally.
All
Yes,
of
sir.
it.
All of it. That
I want to
comes
know
into
your
play.
work, your family,
Yes, sir.
like what you do on a daily basis. I mean, your journey mentally to this point, like because it all plays a part in it. And if you're broken mentally, then that's something that we have to repair along the way too.
True. Yes, sir. And it starts there because setting down opens the door for people to express whatever they need to, and we gauge the level of commitment that we need to take on to make sure that this person reaches their goals.
So do you have clients that come in and have bad days? You're like, boy, something wrong with you. Like, I'm
Of
mad
course.
and I'm angry. You're like, I
Yes,
get
sir.
it.
We have taken them outside and talked to them. I had one probably about a month ago, a dear friend. He was just in a bad mood. And I told him, I said, we're not going to act like that. Let's go outside and talk for just a second. And all he needed to do was just let it out, tell what happened.
And
why
I'm
he was that way.
finding, Cassie, I'm finding, John Mark, that people are angry because folk are so busy talking, nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. True.
Nobody's listening. When we come back in from the commercial break, I want to talk about how do you feel about supplements?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the vitamin industry? How do you feel about energy drinks?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the products like the muscle milk? Because you say, and how do you feel about eating the breakfast and lunch and dinner? I want to talk about lifestyle.
That's good.
Welcome back to Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nixon. I'm with my wonderful guest. I'm just in awe with the information. It seems to me that you're more interested in the wholeness of the person rather than putting, it's a part of it, but rather than putting muscle mass on the person, you're interested in the person being holistic,
Yes, sir.
holistically healthy,
Yes, sir.
mentally, spiritually, physically,
Yes, sir.
and emotionally. You do that initially with an initial assessment,
Yes, sir.
so you'll know exactly who you're working with. But along the way, I'm sure there has to be some kind of agreement that now it's this is not going to happen overnight.
That's right.
It's going to be a process, and you. So how many people are committed to the process? How many, And I tell people all the time, it's like the church. People come in the front door, but the back door is very busy
Yes, sir.
because they don't understand that it's a process. You didn't get like this overnight. How long it has taken you to get to the peak of where you are right now, that you're about to compete now on a national level?
I've been in and out of the gym for 8-9 years, not consistently like I should be, kind of like everybody else. You go to make yourself feel better for a little while, and okay, I feel better, and I'm gonna stop going, or something else takes over in life. And really consistently hitting it since probably about 2017. And I started competing in 2019 just to kind of take it to the next level to see what you're capable of. And I was dealing with some stuff in my personal life that I just needed that focus. So this competing, that was a goal. That was something I had control over. And so it was like a center point in my life, along with God and the journey that we were taking there to become me again, to become whole again. And by creating the best version of myself, not just mentally, but physically as well.
So competing, and just to extract something that you said, it gave you an opportunity while everything else is unraveling in your life. It gave you an opportunity to be in control of something
Yes.
and building yourself, whereas in other areas of your life it was unraveling.
Crumbling. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you building that aspect help you to deal more effectively with all of the other unraveling?
100%. It is. I say it's my foundation. This iron, the gym, the working out, that never changes. It never goes anywhere. It is always constant. And I've dealt with some things, medically that would inhibit that, and it's still there. You can come in, you can do something. There's, just make it a priority in your life, and it becomes that foundation that builds everything else. And the way that my life has changed since then it's incredible. And the foundation that you have from stress and determination and consistency, accountability, all the things that come with it.
Has this saved your life?
100%. Not just mine, but the lives of my children.
Literally?
Literally.
John Mark, so has this saved your life?
Most definitely. It allowed me to find out what my purpose was in life. I've been doing this for, I've been actually personal training for almost 20 years now, 16 years. Um, Started with nothing, built it, had it all, lost it all numerous times, but it gave me a better understanding of not just giving up just because times get hard. And that's in weight training too. Just because the struggles become challenging to go up and the weight gets unbearing, you just keep pushing forward. You allow yourself to keep getting better, and the body gets stronger in time. You know that.
And you take that discipline in this area, and you apply it to different other components and other categories
Most definitely.
in your
Yes, sir.
life.
Yes, sir. It is a understanding. The weight training has changed my whole perspective on how I do things. Um, I like to show strength in weight training. I'll post things. So sometimes I did the 150-pound dumbbells on incline for 10 reps with pristine form, and then sometimes go to the
Okay,
70s.
okay. Let's say, I'll repeat this again. This kind of flew over my head. Repeat what you just said.
Yeah, I
You did what now?
I incline press the 150s just because my people in the gym, they wanted to see it done. And I told them, I said, the strength is, just because the strength lies within doesn't mean that it always has to be, everything has to be strong and tough. I normally don't weight train with that. It was just to prove a point. Even at the bodybuilding show, I have a lot of guys that come to the gym younger. They were doing the pull up challenge in the back there, and they had got, most of them got 16. I got up there and got 19 pull ups, and just to show them that just because I don't do it doesn't necessarily
That
mean
you
that I
can't do
can't
it.
do it. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. And
yeah.
keep them pushing, because all of them are in the fitness realm now. They are um, fitness directors, and just being able to lead and guide them to not make the mistakes that I made. It's been rewarding.
So another elephant in the room. So when people
Mhm.
look at you, they make the assumption steroids,
Mhm.
oh, enhancements.
Yes, sir.
And what you're saying is, it's like Dr. Zanzi and Tony said,
Mhm.
they can tell.
Most definitely, you can.
They can
Yes,
tell, but
yes,
it is possible,
yes, sir.
as evident of yourselves, it is possible to get where you are
Absolutely.
naturally.
I've
Just
seen,
put
yes,
in the
sir.
work.
Yes, sir. I've seen men that were smaller that were doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing, and the body didn't show it. Yes, sir. So it just deals with the weight training. When you understand what weight training is, and that's what exercise science is. It is the understanding of how weight training develops the
How the
body.
body works.
Yes, sir. It is how it functions.
Well, and that mind muscle connection while
Yes,
you're in
sir.
the weight room is
Most definitely.
huge. Like you've got
It's
people
huge.
for the 150s. Maybe we have another guy that can come in there and throw them up, but he's not just using his chest. He's using all sorts of
All
other
other
muscles to go with it.
Yes, sir.
Doing a
Yes,
back
sir.
bend to get it up.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that we're concentrating on the right muscles so they get the growth and the development that they
Yeah.
need without the supplementation.
So let's talk about supplements.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, are you a proponent of the taking supplements?
Most definitely. Um,
Cass,
we
I
are.
want you to think about that question too, and let me go on to that and add a part B and a part C to that question. Whether supplements, whether energy drinks,
Yes.
all right, 'cause that's a incredible
Mhm.
market.
Yes.
Energy drink, throwing down energy drinks,
Yes.
the muscle milk,
Yes, sir.
that kind
Protein.
of, yeah.
Yeah. We are big into it only because it is something that can be utilized instantly. So you don't have to worry about eating something. The protein is basically, it helps you to repair the muscle. A lot of it.
So I don't want to put everything in one category.
Exactly.
Let's deal with supplements and muscle milk.
Okay.
Then let's deal with energy drinks.
Sounds good.
Because I looked at
Yes.
I looked at a post of your gym, and you have an actual freezer.
Yes, sir.
It's not a freezer; it's like a refrigerator.
They have a
And
cooler and a
and
supplement shop.
yeah,
And a
and
supplement shop.
okay, and then I saw like different kinds
Yes,
of
sir.
energy drinks
Uh-huh.
in there,
Uh-huh.
certain that you didn't have.
Mhm.
So obviously you embrace them.
Yes, sir. But do I actually drink them? I don't drink those kind of drinks, only because um it sets me up for failure. Like, it gives me a boost, but then it breaks me, it tires me down. So it gives you a pickup, and especially with me being up at 3 o'clock in the morning to train my first. If I drink something like that by 8 o'clock, I'm
You done.
lose. Yes, sir. So it's there as a temporary fix, but I can also take in something else that can give me that too. My food.
Yeah.
I can utilize my food for just caffeine. I take a caffeine pill. I don't have to have all the extra that's in the drinks. I just want the little pickup so it doesn't crash me out.
180 or 200 milligrams
sir.
of caffeine.
Oh,
That's
400,
400
milligrams.
400 milligrams.
Yes, sir.
That's like 5 or 6, 7 or 8 cups of coffee.
Yes, sir. And people have to realize that what that does to the heart. The heart is a muscle. And when you think about putting something in there that forces it to beat more than what it is,
On top of the weight training.
of the weight training, you're just taxing the body down. So when you think about
You're working out with that amount of caffeine inside of you,
Mhm.
and your heart is pumping.
Yes, sir. When you think about somebody that's overweight and they have all the plaque in the arteries, you have to think about how much it's taxing the heart also, with dealing with how the blood is functioning with all of that. The heart has to become bigger to pump blood all over the body. So it winds up getting bigger and bigger, and it taxes and taxes. And in the end, it can't sustain that for long periods of time. Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mile passed at 52 because
that shocked me.
Yes, sir.
Because when you look at his exterior, when you look at his physique, you're like, the guy's in the picture of health. He's a big muscle man.
Yes, sir. High blood pressure, all of those kind of things, because he wasn't probably eating the proper foods.
Okay, now I'm glad you said that.
Yes,
so that's a great pivot point. Because in one of my posts, I said, and a doctor told me this, that you exercising, eating the right foods,
Yes, sir.
going to the gym, it has the capability to reduce and even eradicate high blood pressure,
Yes, sir.
even diabetes.
Yes, sir. Most of that deals with your foods. So when you're not eating clean, you have to think about all the plaque that's coming through the body. It's not pure. It's not pure blood. It's not pure oxygen. So the body is being taxed by all of those bad foods
20 seconds.
as well. So the cleaner you eat, the more the body becomes a fully functioning system.
I'm going to stay on with y'all for another 4 hours today. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I'll be back. More defining moments with my guests, John Mark and Cassie. Wow. Proper pronunciation of your last name.
All right. It's actually Casey Omara.
Thank you. Listen, I have been saying Cassie, and she has just been smiling, but you have that name for a reason. It's Casey Amara. Thank you for being kind to me and not putting me in the headlock. So please forgive me. All right, Casey, please forgive me, Casey Amara. And so, but listen, they got Casey and John Mark. They're going to come back because this is fascinating. People need to be educated. You said something a moment ago. You said, imagine all of the bad food that's going through your veins that has the cholesterol and has the plaque. It sticks to your veins.
So the heart has to pump itself harder to push your blood through all that coagulated arteries.
Cassie Amara and John Mark. How about that? And my directors look at me like, Larry, come on, man. You need an energy drink, Larry. Right?
I'll let you say it wrong for like a good 30 minutes.
I know, but at some point, it's time to start getting the reps right. Right? Casey. So you're saying eating bad is not just good it makes you feel good, but it has, it deteriorates the body.
Yes, sir.
The processed food. What is it doing once you put it in your mouth? What's happening?
Once you put it in your mouth, it is digested. From the digestion, the body picks and chooses what it needs. If it doesn't have the proper balance of what it needs, then it takes what it gets. It's a survival. And
I shared that before the program. I said, even during the program, I said, I ate a bag of potato chips. But at the end, my body was saying, there was no nutritional value in that.
Yes, sir.
People are like, well, it's potatoes.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. Okay. I think.
True.
Well, I want to take that and kind of play on the protein shakes for a
Nice.
second. So we carry these things because they are good to have in moderation. We do not say you should have a protein shake with every meal. It is not a replacement for the proteins that you can get from wholesome
definitely.
foods.
So when someone says, I don't eat breakfast,
Hmm.
but I drink a protein shake in the morning.
I'd say
not
I'd
enough.
rather you eat
I'd rather eat
eggs.
Breakfast is a big important part of the day because it jumpstarts everything.
Mhm.
So you think about you waking up, okay? When you go to sleep, your body utilizes whatever food that you have in the system to alter itself. So it says, okay, Mr. Larry gave me chicken, rice, and asparagus. So it utilizes all of that. And when it's done with it, when you wake up, your body is actually at a deficit right there. So say that you don't eat. So then you go to about 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock without food. The body is going to store that food in compensation for the lack of food that you put in for those 6 hours that you've been up.
So you're really not doing yourself a favor
Not
skipping
at all.
breakfast.
Not at all.
Because I had the mindset, well, I'm not eating breakfast, so I'm actually putting less food in my body, so I'm better off.
Now,
Quite the
think about it
contrary.
this way. So the earlier you get that first meal in, the earlier you're starting your metabolism for the day because it's
Yes,
having
sir.
to get started to start digesting that food. So the way we do our meal plans is you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, small portions, calorie friendly portions. That your body's got a constant source of energy. It's constantly digesting food, so it's constantly burning extra calories in that digestion system.
So how late should I eat before I go to bed, retire for the night?
Well, more so, we normally cut food off by 8:30 if you need to be 9 o'clock. But it also depends on how long of rest you get also and how long of a tenure. I have some of my clients that will wind up being like, I'm not dropping, and their last meal was 8:30, but they stayed up to 12 or 1 o'clock. So that's 5 hours that you're going without food. So, and then it's probably 5 hours without rest because you're back up at 6. So you're sleeping for 5 hours. The longer you rest, the more the body phases down.
The longer you rest, the more the body fades down.
Yes, sir. I tell you, I am right now. I have a coach and everything too. A coach has a coach. Accountability. I get up at 3 o'clock every morning, but on Saturdays I wake up at 6 o'clock. I'm 3 to 4 pounds lesser from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. On that Saturday, I'll drop 4 more pounds because I'm getting more rest, so the body lets go of what it has stored. Yes, sir.
And I was going to say this: why is my body fluctuating? One day I got on the scale. I was 2 pounds lighter. I was 2 pounds. Zanzi and Tony, they wanted me to be consistent when I weigh myself. You know,
We say once a week
That's
because of the fluctuation,
Yeah.
but there's so many different things that play into
True.
what your weight is. So water retention, how much water did you get in the day before? Did you maybe miss some? Did you maybe sweat some more?
Activity.
Did
Yeah.
you sleep enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your food is the same, you have to look at what you do daily.
Mhm.
If you had a more strenuous day where you were traveling more, you're probably going to weigh more than what you did on yesterday.
really.
'Cause your
Yes, sir.
body's
So all
holding
of those
water.
things come into play. So when we do diet plans and somebody didn't drop, we were like, okay, how was your week? Like, okay, well, I had to drive here on Thursday, but then I didn't drive there on Saturday. The more consistent you can have your daily, your daily routine, the faster you face down.
Interesting you would say that. You're exactly right. Scientifically, you're exactly spot on because the week prior I was 2 pounds lighter.
Yes, sir.
I was in town
Yeah.
drinking a gallon of water every day,
Yes, sir.
making a trip to the bathroom every minute.
Yes, sir.
All right. The following week I was 2 pounds heavier because I was traveling.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't drinking my gallon of water
Yes, sir.
because I knew I couldn't be. I was driving and I knew I couldn't be stopping every hour. I'd never get anywhere.
Yes, sir. And that's how we gauge how our people are doing. Rest.
Is muscle? Does muscle weigh heavier than fat?
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm putting on a little muscle mass as
Yes,
well.
sir. Yes, sir.
Until Tony and Zonda gets a hold of me.
Oh, they ain't done with you yet.
They're just kind of teasing me right
Yes,
now.
sir.
I know they are.
Yeah.
And get you
Well,
hooked.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they're doing, Casey.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're giving me hook.
Because you're a thinker. So you're like, okay, if I dedicate a little bit more time and get more consistent, what can I do? What can I really do? You know, because I can tell because I have that same.
And let me tell you what they did. So what they did was now I've dropped, and
30 seconds.
then someone said, maybe you can be in the show next year.
Let's do it.
Now they just put it out there, and I said to myself, yeah, maybe I can do it. Now I have that hook.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Casey Amara, John Mark,
Yes, sir.
Cut and Dry
Yes, sir.
Gym.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us both. You'll come back.
Thank you
Most
for having us.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
See you again next week on Defining Moments.